Hey guys, something a little bit different today. I'm going to do a video on the 5 worst things in the AFL in 2018. So let's get stuck into it. Number one, it's a little bit cheating. AFLX. Where do I start with AFLX? Watch this clip, and the commentators will basically say it all, and you'll see everything that I've got a problem with it.
Take it in the air. There's Duggan, the player we just spoke about, and he was wrapped up hard in a tackle.
Well, I mentioned he'd played 46 games. The whole team, other than him, have put together 45, JB.
Yeah, controls it forward pretty well to Deer. Deer wants to go square. Cheney's got it. Can either handball off for a Zupa. Kelly on his favoured left side. Look at this. Nice long ranger from Jakey Boy.
Rode that home to Jake Kelly. That was
Okay, so first of all, the silver football. It was hard to see, especially at night. But they did replace that in the last tournament, I believe. The problem with AFLX is that it was the first taste of football we had this year. It came before the JLT series. But there are no big name players. As you said, the whole team had like 45 games collectively between them. For West Coast, it's ridiculous. It's an absolute waste of time. The Zupa. I don't mind the whole Toyota Premiership season and Toyota logos being like thrown onto the ovals of the grounds. Absolutely fine with that. But the Zupa thing can just fuck right off. Advertising in the AFL is a bit of a funny thing, but it's the big companies that seem to sponsor the AFL. So things like McDonald's and Coca-Cola. But even McDonald's has never paid the AFL money, for players to kick the Mc ball to score a Mc fucking goal. I mean, fucking Zupa goal, suck my dick, fuck off. And it was obviously a way to get the AFL to crack an international market. It's just a short, palatable version of football. It's basically 2020, except it's kind of boring. It's short, it's easily watchable, it's a waste of time, but it's only 7 players aside. The lack of players there creates space and allows for easy scoring opportunities, and while that sounds good, given the lack of defensive setup, it's meaningless. It's just one end to the other, and it's somehow boring. Long story short, it's really fast paced, but boring. So moving on, number 2 is the China game. This might be cheating a little bit as well, as it does sort of go back to last year. My big problem with it is that it seems to be run by David Koch, and he's a twat. So it's run by Kochi and not the AFL. It's basically last year the Suns were paid to give up a home game at Metricon to have this game in China, this home game in China. And then the Gold Coast Suns decided to wear their home uniform, also the home Guernsey, at the home game in China that Port paid them to take. I mean, the nerve of this fucking group, it was just fucking dumb. The AFL expected a sellout crowd of 11,500 people, though the stadium itself actually sits 25,000. So basically we have a sold out game in a half-filled stadium. And this is my big problem with this, is that in the same weekend there was a game at Blundstone Arena in Tasmania, and only about 7,000 people turned up. So I think maybe AFL should look at building the game in Australia before going over to fucking China to play Australian rules football. And Kochi, you're a twat. Third one, score review system. Really, really easy. If the umpires make a bad call, fair enough, you move on, get on with your life. But the score review system slows the pace of the game. They review, they go back, check different camera angles, and meanwhile, sometimes the ball goes back to the centre bounce. Sometimes it just kind of stays in the pocket, depending on the umpire's call. Damien Hardwick's been stuck in. It's called the system an embarrassment. It's even cost Sydney a victory, and I will show the footage here.
The handball on the outside for Goldstein, who weaved a little bit of magic. The bounce favoured Zeeble, and there's no one inside forward 50, so the run is on, and Hartung has McVeigh for pace. Can he get around him? Puts the pressure on. Billy Hartung. Brilliant stuff. Here we go, the score review that has been ongoing. Gee, I reckon that's going to come back.
No, not enough time.
Wow.
Too slow with the replays, Petey.
Wow.
And I just think the AFL should back the goal umpires to do their fucking job. If they make a bad call, make a wrong call, so be it, man. Like, bad calls are a part of football. It's fine. Number 4, the disciplinary system. There has been 3 suspensions this year that I agree with. Here they are. And one of them's borderline.
A big grab on a Thursday night. He's got a couple of goals already. He's been lively, broad. Hard pressed up against the boundary line. Gave it to Floston, who got pinched. And the Swans rebound here. Remember, they trailed by 20.
It's just, look, it's just terribly reckless, because you could do so much damage to a boy there. You've got to be so careful.
You're having the night of your life.
Yeah,
unnecessary, and you might miss.
Well, you didn't get enough on the handball. Made it hard for Scott Selwood, who gets absolutely poleaxed.
Let it go! It's been reported! Mitch, he's been reported!
Jeez.
He's been reported! Joel! Let it go! Geelong, he's been reported! Geelong, you've got...
For a goal which a lot of us hate, Taranto. And
Contact.
Andrews is down, and he has not moved. He has not moved Harris Andrews.
I reckon he was out before he hit the ground there, Dwayno.
He's Jeremy Cameron.
Oh, he's turned his body. He's in some trouble there.
That is a hard hit.
So clearly, the Lindsay Thomas one is borderline. But let's have a look at some other clips from earlier in the year, and let's have a look at them.
Curvis again, brilliant for the Tigers. It spills to Kieran Jack, and he goes deep. Sinclair at full stretch. Gets the best of Floston.
Oh, it's going to be reversed here.
Let it go! Alex, can you take your kick?
Zerha and Mirror got unloaded and has got crunched into that barrier there. We'll go down to Jimmy in a moment, but Zerha there, and he's not happy. Mirror, Jimmy, you are reported.
He's reported.
Let's have a listen.
Your kick? Hey, Jeff, go down.
Let's have a look at Mitchell and Goldstein. Not much in it, but it was high.
Hawthorn players are excited. They're sensing something now. North, can they put a little dagger? No, they can't. Look at this. Can Hawthorn go forward from here? Rough head. Needs a win in the middle. North Melbourne player doesn't look good behind the play.
2 down.
And he got nailed, Duray.
Sean Higgins is down, and then on the outer wing they've got a man down as well. 2 knocked out in the space of 5 seconds, BT, because on the far wing, is it Vickers Willis? We're just trying to make out who it is.
This is the second one.
This is the second one, Vickers Willis. So both accidental.
Yeah, they need to get back inside. Whoa, look at that.
What a tackle by Nick Natanui, who was buried aim on into the extremely hard turf at Optus Stadium. He's a little sore to get back to his feet.
So let's get this straight. We have one guy punching another guy in the throat. We have one guy getting knocked out in a solid bump. There goes another guy. And finally, Majak Door. Go Majak. Another guy elbowing some guy in the back of the head. And one guy tackling an opponent to the ground, giving a fairly obvious free kick away. And who gets suspended? Why can't we just let the players play? You know, are the AFL serious about injuries to players? Can't we just go back to like the 1980s methods of, you know, giving some guy a pandol and telling him to get the fuck back on the field? You know, unless it's a serious injury, just let him go. Like, it's a physical game. You know, granted, if someone take somebody else's head off, okay, then throw them out for about 3 weeks. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And number 5, umpires. Umpires are the worst thing in AFL in 2018. And there have been 3 games this year in particular I want to highlight. First one's the very first game of the year, Carlton and Richmond. Carlton got off to, I think, like 5 goals, 5 straight goals, with the help of about 3 50-metre penalties. The AFL came out and said that, 2 of them weren't there, one of them was borderline, and that kind of quietened down the 50-metre penalties for a while. In round 14, there was Port vs Melbourne. Sam Powell-Pepper played a really physical game, broke the tackling record for Port Adelaide. He got about 15, 17, something like that. 15 tackles, 17 tackles, whatever. However, with each tackle, it was never clear what the umpire was going to call. It could have been a push in the back, it could be holding the ball, it could be a ball up. It was just fucking random. I saw comments online that Port won with the help of the umpires, and if you watch highlights of that game, the crowd is booing, and pretty fucking heavy. It was a strange game to watch. There was also that weird blocking rule. Literally the next night, North Melbourne versus the Western Bulldogs. Majak Daw is a big fan, actually, of Majak's. Sort of gave away a free kick for blocking, and it was a contested mark. He just came up and bumped the guy. I don't remember the Bulldog player, I'm sorry. And it was just a bad, contrived, fucking weird decision. So we can't have fucking marking contests anymore. It's fucking stupid. And basically the biggest thing that I can't stand in AFL this year is the making contact with an umpire. Now, Patrick Dangerfield, is the president of the AFL's Players Association, has come out and criticised Tom Hawkins' ban after, was it Charlie and Ed Kerno were let off with a fine 1 week after Tom Hawkins got suspended. And it's some fairly innocuous kind of shit, man. And this fucking $1,000, $1,500 fine is ridiculous. It's an absolute fucking farce. I don't get it. As I said, if someone turns around and fucking Barry Hall's someone, like Barry Hall's like an umpire, just knocks his fucking head off, fine, get him out of the game, fine them, whatever you have to do, but fucking this shit, it's ridiculous, man. We just need this out of the game as well. When the shoe's on the other foot, something kind of strange happens, and I've released a couple of videos where I'm just like, fuck Collingwood, fuck Collingwood, fuck Collingwood. Actually, I've found my favourite Collingwood player, Mason Cox, and this is why. Mason Cox tweeted this video clip out, and he's asking the AFL if they want his, bank account and BSB number for this. Thanks very much, guys. Watch the 1989 grand final. We'll put hair on your chest. Take it easy.